Well, let's bring in former ambassador to Switzerland, former Nigerian ambassador to Switzerland, I should say, and former permanent representative to the UN in Geneva, Ambassador Joseph Ayalogu. He joins us now virtually from London. Ambassador Ayalogu, thank you for making time to be with us today. And, amidst all of the confusion about what exactly happened in Venezuela and the legality of what the U.S. did, people pointing fingers at the United Nations and wondering, what exactly the UN can do, some even referring to the UN at this time as a completely silent dog, no teeth, no bark.
Yeah, good evening, Marcy. Thank you. Happy New Year again.
Happy New Year to you.
Well, we have a situation where a hegemon, a gatekeeper of what I might call the global peace architecture that was painstakingly set up as an outcome of the traumas of the last of the 20th century, and I search for world peace, who turns out to be the greatest infractor of the terms or conditions or the laws was set up, agreed upon as the fulcrum for that architecture. So that's what we have. We know that the UN has a lot of handicaps. At times, some people call it a toothless bulldog. Probably it doesn't even have, it's not even a bulldog now. But it's there. It was set up by the global community, all agreeing that there is a need to enforce impose certain laws to guide the conduct of international relations among nations, to be anchored on respect for sovereignty, respect for territorial integrity, and of course, human rights and so on. There is still need for that, because without these laws, without these specific laws that guide that, the three that mentioned, territoriality, sovereignty, we'll just go back to the period of history where might was right. And if you had a lot of equipment, you knock off your neighbors. And we know the various range of wars over the centuries that kind of, attitude had led to. So,
yeah, but Ambassador,
yes.
don't you think we're already back in those days where might is right? I mean, the U.S. will not be reprimanded, beg your pardon, for what has happened, what it did in Venezuela. It now has its sights on Greenland, and it's very clear there's no stopping the United States from getting what it wants.
Yes, that's the danger. We're getting back to it, and we shouldn't want that situation. It's a complex situation where you are facing a dangerous challenge, a dangerous problem which you don't want, and unfortunately, you don't even know how to go about it. So that's what the world is facing now. We wouldn't say that the U.S. or even Russia, because we were trying to deal with the matter of Russia in Ukraine. Yeah. Then come this one, it undermines everything. There has been UN, the usual process of countries denouncing it in strong words, or weak words. Probably a resolution passed, which will, of course, not have any effect.
What is the future of the UN, in light of recent developments? What is the future of the United States? Because all other countries like Russia, North Korea will take their cue from what the US is doing.
But personally, I do not see, I see a bleak future. Yes. And except we go back again and all collectively agree to restructure the global peace or security architecture. Check what we have now, whether it's working. Of course, we know it's not working, and agree whether there can be a way around it. Do we have do we have a global force to impose the law, a proper. Of course, we know that one of the challenges of the UN is that there is no policeman. It's just like you have a policeman and he doesn't have arms to call anybody to order. So that's the challenge of the UN. Frankly, there is nothing that gives anybody hope, especially with the happenings within the past 4 or 5 years. It's really yes.
I guess you are just mirroring what a lot of people feel, and a lot of international experts around the world also feeling that way. I think the real question here is how to stop President Trump, from going on with his acquisition of Greenland, and he's talked about going into Cuba and into Mexico and other countries in the Western Hemisphere. I guess we'll
Colombia.
have to. Yes, and Colombia as well. Thank you so much for joining us, however difficult this topic is, for joining us in the discussion.
Thank you.